have a bit more forwards than Waterford today.
I read a comment from Derek McGrath where he was saying, look, the players, the system has worked well, but he doesn't want robots. He said it wasn't on the PlayStation. They can improvise within the system.
Yeah, the player, look, he'll have 2 or 3 different game plans. That's the modern, But the thing is, Dara, you have to be able to even on the ball, to make the right decision on the ball. The best team in the country probably doing that, Kilkenny. Like they have a system in the sense that they believe in what they're doing the whole time, let the ball do the work, very precise. If the score is on, have a go, but if it's not on, play it to a better person.
Prediction briefly.
You look at Waterford there, they have no iconic or no marquee forwards. You talk about bubbles and that. Yeah. You can say anything, but they're a coming team, remember. They're the new team on the block.
Indeed.
So, but it's the system they play with is their big strength. I think. I agree with everyone. Tipper are outrageous favourites to win this here today. I'm going to go for Waterford because I think that they might just smother Tipperary and win the game.
I go for Tip because they have to win.
Henry?
I go for Tipperary as well. They will score more goals than Waterford.
OK, let's join our big match commentary team here in Semple Stadium. Michael Dignan and first Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Darren. Well, what is it about the Munster Hurling Championship that makes it so unique, so exhilarating and so intriguing? Not just to the counties involved, but to the nation of Ireland, from Letterkenny to Kenmare, from Belfast to Rosslare. Indeed, hundreds of thousands more will watch today from faraway places like New York to Abu Dhabi, from Toronto, Canada to Perth, Australia. Well, wherever you are, welcome to Semple Stadium, Thurles, where in this town 131 years ago, the GAA was founded by a group of people that had an incredible vision. And to this day, that journey continues. Over the decades, of course, the Munster Championship, despite only 5 counties being involved, have produced a galaxy of stories and a series of dramatic events that would keep Steven Spielberg busy in Hollywood. Michael Dignan is my co-commentator today, mentioning Steven Spielberg himself. What kind of drama, what sort of story are we going to have today?
Well, Marty, you never know. It's one of my favourite days of the year, I have to say, the Munster final. The atmosphere in Thurles since early today, I was around a few hours before the match. The crowd's unbelievable. There's not a spare place. At 2 o'clock today, there wasn't even a terrace ticket to be picked up. It's packed out here in Thurles. An absolutely brilliant atmosphere. And look, I'm looking forward, as I do every year, but this young Waterford team, you know, to me, the team of the year so far, they won Division 1B, they went on and won the National League, they beat Cork, and they're fantastic. I think Derek McGrath's right there in his interview. I don't think they have a particular system. They just play a hugely passionate, mobile, physical game. They're fantastic hurlers all over the team, and I'm looking forward to see how do Tip try to break that down with the great players they have. I think they'll match them for pace, for power, and they might just have that little bit of extra off the bench that might win it for them. But look, it could go either way. I think Tip will do it, but it should be a fantastic battle.
Well, this is the 125th Munster final to be played. Despite the fact that 127 Munster titles have been won, 3 were walkovers: 1888, 1889 and 1908. This is the 10th Munster final between Tipperary and Waterford, with the Premier County leading easily with 7 victories to 2. Indeed, history favours Tipperary, having won the last 4 Munster Championship meetings between the counties, including the finals of 2009, 2011 and 2012. In fact, Waterford's last victory against Tipperary at a Tipperary venue was way back in the 1933 Munster semi-final replay at Carrigan-Shure on a scoreline of 5-5 to 5-2.
There'll probably be a few more points there. I'm just looking at Dan Shannon. I love Dan. He's an unbelievable character. He's down there on the sideline. All he wants to do is get into the parade. He's the tracksuit tucked into the socks there. He's nearly out on the pitch, and I think he just watch him during the game, the passion that he brings to it. He plays every ball. And also, Marty, just to mention Noel McGrath, saw him pucking around, togged out with the Tipperary team today, not part of the official panel, but what a recovery he's made from his illness, testicular cancer, had surgery a couple of months ago, and fantastic to see Noel back here today as well.
Just watching our monitor here, there's Dan the man. He's almost like the 16th man on the field. He spends so much time inside on the field. Just a quick word about the tactical change. Eddie Barrett in for Tom Devine. What do you make of that, Michael?
Yeah, look at the way, we all know the way Waterford played. They're going to withdraw a lot of players out the field. Colin Dunford, Maurice Shannon probably left inside. They're the danger men. They work really, really hard, but they'll rotate all over the field. Tom Devine has been very effective off the bench. I don't think any of us expected him to start today, but look, at positions won't mean a whole lot here. I think Tipperary as well, you'll see them maybe getting John O'Dwyer out the field and putting Patrick Bonner-Maher closer to the goals as well to fight for those hard 50-50 balls.
Well, here on this particular day, historic day in terms of the GAA, there's going to be a moment's silence here for the late Jimmy Doyle, who lived just across the road here in a lovely house that I often visit him in. winner of 3 minor All-Irelands, 6 senior All-Irelands, and there's going to be a moment's pause for him. And also for the late David Houlihan from Dungarvan, who died so tragically in that drowning accident in Thailand last week. Indeed, his cousin Tig played quite a lot with Waterford footballers. Indeed, David himself only played last Friday week for his club, Dungarvan, a family rich in the GA tradition. So that's what's being announced here over the public address. A moment's silence for the late Jimmy Doyle and David Houlihan. May both of them rest in peace.
The team to victory in 62 and 65. And also
Yeah, Marty, I often met Jimmy Doyle outside his house there on the way down to matches, a gentleman, and very sad to see him passing. And I'll add my condolences to the Houlihan family. I think they've had a lot of tragedy in their lives, and terrible tragedy last week in Thailand.
Acknowledged throughout the hurling world as a rare and unique talent. He was selected as the team of the century, the team of the millennium, the Munster team of the millennium, and was top scorer in 7 All-Ireland hurling championships. It is right that here at this place on Munster final day that we remember Jimmy Doyle, whose skill, manliness and sportsmanship adorned our ancient craft of hurling. Thor Leach er Lor. We also remember David Houlihan from Dungarvan, who died tragically in Thailand on Monday last. We extend our sympathy to the bereaved.
A warm round of applause, and indeed you can see our President of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins, is with us today. Had a very warm welcome earlier. Met the 2 teams, as Dara mentioned. And of course, President Mary McAleese was here around 2007, 2008 as well. Big day for Eamon O'Shea, as it is with Derek McGrath. Both men striving for their very first Munster Championship title. Munster final day in Thurles has attracted a capacity crowd, and we all stand here for our own event. We don't have the official attendance yet, but the capacity crowd of 53,500 must be very close indeed. So what's it going to be? Tipperary's 41st or Waterford's 10th Munster title? Is it going to be a place in the quarter-final of the championship or a semi-final spot for the new Munster champion? James Owens from Askamore in North Wexford is taking charge of his very first provincial final. He's the first Wexford man to referee a Tipperary Waterford Munster championship match since Dickie Murphy took charge of the 2000 round 1 game in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. So here we go. What really matters is pride, honour and a provincial title. That still means so much. The journey begins now and ends around 5:30. The Munster Hurling Final 2015 is up and running. Tipperary playing from right to left and going to the attack immediately. Going back to tag to Burke, referee James Owens has blown his whistle and he's giving a free to Waterford. The conditions, by the way, here in Tipperary are absolutely beautiful. There's no sunshine, loads of cloud, little or no wind, and thanks be to God, no rain.
Yeah, looking at Niall O'Mara has gone out to right half forward, and Bonner Maher has gone in on the full forward line, and Waterford setting up with no sweeper at the moment. They're playing 15 on 15.
First free of the afternoon for Stephen O'Keefe. Tipperary under pressure. Somehow Michael Brick Walsh got it out. Paris Kevin Moore, and the captain. Is he going to lead by example with the first score? Not quite, but it wasn't that far away.
Yeah, and Stephen Bennett at right corner forward, and Marla Shannon at full forward, and I see Eddie Barrett gone in at centre half forward.
Quick puck out, in down towards Patrick Bonner-Marr. Waterford deal with the first real Tipperary attack, and the Dacian man go into the attack themselves. Hitting it long, hitting it right and wide.
Yeah, and I suppose, Marty, that's one of the criticisms of the system. When, you know, long-range shooting like that, really no score on, but there was nobody inside. Everyone had moved outside the 45-metre line and no one to aim for inside.
Quick puck out for Cathal Barrett. Comes down for Niall O'Mara, who's in the right half forward position, and from way out the field. Tipperary are up and running in this Munster final.
Yeah, Marty, and that's the way Tipperary wanted to play. You saw a quick puck out to Cathal Barrett, a brilliant 50-yard ball up the wing to Niall O'Mara and straight over the bar. Great score.
Michael Brick Walsh coming in to challenge. Just not getting it up onto the hurl is Eddie Barrett. He's still there. Corrig Maher comes across to deal with it. Burst forward. Eamon O'Shea is looking for a free along the sideline, off camera. Meanwhile, it's Colin Dunford that comes away with it, loses possession. Referee has blown his whistle. Over carry.
Yeah, and serious intensity there by both teams. Great tackling. We saw Corrig Maher couldn't burst out there, and then eventually Jake Dillon did a lovely backhand pass there, but he was judged to have overcarried.
Corrig Maher switching it over to the far over side as Waterford gain a little bit of momentum, ball in towards the corner, but there's no bother for James Barry or indeed Maurice Shanahan. None of them will reach it. Sideline ball for Tipperary. Kieran Bergen going to take this.
Do you want me to go back a bit? Sure.
Chasing after this is Jason Ford, being pursued by Philip Mahoney. Ford dropping it in. This is going to be interesting. No free given for Seamus Callanan, who had one eye on the referee. Michael Walsh pumping it into the corner, coming across is Paddy Marr. Chasing after it is Jake Dillon, but the sideline is ultimately the winner. Sideline ball for Tipperary.
Yeah, and looking at Corrig Maher has gone completely free as the sweeper. Shane McGrath dropping back in around centre back, and Michael Breen has gone into the middle of the field. So an awful lot of changes on both teams, and on the other side of the field, Tadhg de Burke as usual taking up the sweeper role now.
It's good sideline ball as well. Nipping in is James Woodlock, stepping away from the challenge, and he loves to run at opposing defences. They've caught up with him here. Tries to squeeze it out for his Bonner-Marr. Referee felt Waterford were fouling, so it's a free, dead straight in front of the posts.
Yeah, I have to say I didn't see a whole lot there, Marty. I think James Woodlock very well closed down there, 4 Waterford men around him, and to me he just looked like he was held up, and an easy free now for Seamus Callanan straight in front of the goals.
Should be a relatively easy free for Seamus Callanan. Made his championship debut back in 2008 against Cork. Man who scored 2 goals and 5 points against Limerick. One umpire telling the other umpire to wave the flag, which he did eventually. Puck out from Stephen O'Keefe. Colin Dunford underneath it. Doesn't hold on to it. Somehow Bonner-Marr kept it in play. Pulled on first time by Austin Gleeson. And it's a really good pull that puts the Tipperary defence under pressure. Paddy Marr is there. He has plenty of support. Paddy looks to his left. On his left shoulder, there's nobody willing to run at speed. Was the Tipperary man fouled there? Tipperary fans thought so. Brick Walsh is around the middle of the field, flicks it forward. Available and unmarked at the moment is Colin Dunford. And away he goes. Can he score from there? Will it squeeze inside the post? The umpires think it is. Good score, Colin Dunford. But it was pretty close.
It was, Marty, but I think we saw both teams there the way they're setting up today. Paddy Maher, first of all, picking up a ball back in his own full back line. Not a great clearance. I think there might have been a foul on Tipperary. And then Brick Walsh, short pass, another ball onto Colin Dunford off the shoulder. And that's the way Waterford are going to try to get their scores. So great passage of play there from both teams.
Puck out from Darren Gleeson. Bravely going in is Kevin Moran. This is Shane McGrath. Ballynahinch North Tipperary. Good ball across. Easily dealt with is Tadhg de Burka. Ronan Marr laying it off quickly. As Tipperary with that great diagonal ball from Jason Ford opens up the Waterford defence, and that is over the bar. Niall O'Mara with his second point of the match.
Great play there by Tipperary. Lovely little hand pass from Kieran Bergen into Bubbles, and division straight away to pick out Niall O'Mara. And movement of the Tipperary forwards, very, very impressive. They're switching. The Waterford lads don't know who they're picking up, and super score.
Puck out from Stephen O'Keefe. Again, Pádraig Maher easily anticipates, reads it well. Knew he was going to be hooked. The hand pass is not a great one. In comes the captain, Kevin Moore, trying to get away from the challenge. Shane McGrath chasing after him, and Paddy Maher. What a run! What a run by the captain. What about the finish? Great skill by Maher Shanahan, trying to flick it across. Tipperary defence exposed. The referee has blown his whistle. None of us actually heard it, but it's back on the 20-metre line. But what an exhilarating run by the Waterford captain, Kevin Moore.
Yeah, and absolutely. The pace of Kevin Moore there, you know, he left Pádraig Maher and Shane McGrath in his wake. He obviously must have, I was watching him heading for the goals. I didn't see the foul. The referee obviously played the advantage rule there. And the noise here, Marty, it's hard to hear yourself. It's unbelievable. The atmosphere down there, pitch side, is unreal. And here's Maurice Shannon with a nice free to start him off. It should be one that he's to be able to put over. Pádraig Mahoney missing today, huge loss for Waterford. But Morris has been doing very well on the frees in his absence.
Well, he scored a goal and 9 points in the semi-final. 7 of them from frees, 165. Younger brother, of course, of Dan the Man, who's now a selector. Maurice Shanahan hits that gently over the crossbar for his first point in this Munster final. Quick puck out, fires Ronan Marr. Younger brother of Pádraig Maher at number 6. Stepping away is the captain, Brendan Marr. No relation from Borrisoleigh. For so many seasons we had Brendan Marr at number 5. A really good defender, but he's been converted to the leader of the attack, and he's doing well.
Well, there's a few hurlers like that in the game. They can play anywhere. Ken McGrath comes to mind for Waterford in the backs, midfield, or in the forwards. That's an early yellow card.
That's not good news for Colin Dunford after just 9 minutes.
Absolutely not. But again, we see Tipperary, the use of the short puck out, and a very intelligent ball by Ronan Maher up the wing again to pick out Brendan on the move, and another easy free here now for Seamus Callan.
Playing in his 32nd championship match today, Seamus Callanan, just out the road in Drummonditch. Second point of this Munster final.
Now, Marty, I think Waterford have to play the zone in defence. They're following the runner. And leaving the space, and the tip man is running into the space, and Tipperary, that's one up the left wing, one up the right wing, that have created 2 easy scores for them.
And by our judgment call up here, 4 scoring chances, 4 points taken by Tipperary. Coming through the middle, it's Jamie Barron. Bit of a mad scramble in the middle of the field. Good work here by Shane McGrath. Scoops it up, gives it for his Niall O'Mara, who's now the architect rather than the finisher of this particular move. Coming across is Tadhg de Burka. Referee eventually blows the whistle, and the foul on the wing back from Clashmore.
Yeah, and that match-up between Noel Connors and John O'Dwyer has now come to pass, and that's one I'm looking forward to maybe as much as anything. Noel Connor's one of the great cornerbacks, tight marker, great hurler, and Bubbles O'Dwyer in fantastic form over the last couple of years, and the outcome of that battle could have a big bearing on the outcome of this game.
Here's a man who's playing in his second Munster final, Stephen O'Keefe from Ballygunner. Played in the 2012 final against Tipperary as well. Match they lost, conceding 2 goals. Cathal Barrett. Shoulder is back on full power. Takes a little bit too much out of it despite the wonderful fielding. The pass by Colin Dunford is not a good one. Kieran Bergen is in there, scooping it up. He's the one with the yellow helmet there, number 5. Michael Brick Walsh knocking off the hurl of Jason Ford. Coming forward is Michael Breen, championship debutant, Paris Porrick-Mar. And he cuts out all the messing with a long ball. It's on these breaking balls that Tipperary looks so dangerous. Ball inside towards Seamus Callanan. Tony O'Dwyer looks to be the man that's down injured, and Ty de Burka sweeps the sliotar from one end of the field to the other. What about that for some wonderful fielding by Porrick-Mar? Uses the stick to give it to the baby brother, Ronan. He steps into the midfield area, tries to chip it forward. Lovely, lovely wrist work by the bottom bar, into the D and over the bar. No messing about from Tipperary, but the skill, the wrist work was simply superb here. Not alone from the Mars, all Mars in fact.
All the Mars, well, actually, Marty, I've just noticed there, Kieran Bergen is wearing 7 and Ronan Maher is wearing 5. Both of them wear yellow helmets. They're very similar on the field, but I just know by the way they hurl and the way they're carrying themselves that they actually switched jerseys, and we obviously didn't get a word on that. But looking at Bonner Maher there, and that's what he does. He attacks the ball, head straight down the middle, and a great score.
Long ball all the way down, easily gathered by Porrick-Mar. Steps away, available over this side is Kieran Bergen, and just about got there. We've seen him play at midfield so many times in the past. Nice chance here for John Bubbles O'Dwyer. Didn't catch it the first time, but managed to get onto it, then turn and shoot.
Yeah, well, it's the half-back line. Porrick-Mar is the sweeper, and the half-back line, especially Kieran Bergen here out in front of us, are causing havoc, playing that diagonal ball, and the Tipperary forwards movement is killing Waterford at the moment.
Sideline ball, Tipperary. Kieran Bergen going to take this from Killinall. Not a great one. Shane McGrath battling with Eddie Barrett. Jake Dillon. James Woodlock is there. It's untidy to say the least. Referee watches closely as the players work themselves out of that muddle. Shane McGrath is available again to his midfield partner James Woodlock. Looking, seeking, finding perhaps Seamus Callanan. The battle with himself and Barry Coughlan will be most interesting, as will Noel Connors and John Bubbles O'Dwyer. Waterford go for that diagonal ball. Maurice Shanahan having to work hard. Gaddles has the chance perhaps to get away from, or at least give the ball away. Nicely picked up by James Barry. It's tough out there in between the 45 and 65 metre line. Coming away with it is the Waterford captain again, Kevin Moore, and he's stumbling as he drops this in. It's an easy ball for the goalkeeper Darren Gleeson, but the referee felt that Kevin Moore was fouled. Well, as he was hitting the ball. Well, I think Maurice Shanahan was fouled 30 seconds ago. The free should have been given. It wasn't, and I certainly don't think that was a free there. Just watch it here again. Kevin Moore runs at him. Maybe Porrick-Mar's hand is up high. He was going in to tackle him, but Marty, Waterford are being killed. They've nobody inside the 45 metre line. We saw Limerick the last to leaving Porrick-Mar free. You cannot leave a hurler of that ability free on a hurling field. You need to push somebody on him, even if you leave somebody else loose. You can't leave one of the best players in Ireland free. He will dominate this game if that continues. Second chance from more or less the same range, a little bit further out for Maurice Shanahan. He's already scored once in this Munster final. It's his own unique style. It normally works, but not this time. It's Waterford's third wide of the match. Tuck out from Darren Gleeson. James Woodlock. Good work, very good work by Jake Dillon. Pass to Kevin Moran was a bit of a hospital one, I'm afraid, but Moran did very well. Kevin Moran is bouncing into the air off camera as the sliotar flies between the posts. That's a really good quality point from along the sideline.
Yeah, Marty, the leader of this team for the last number of years, and that's a great score. Jake Dillon did very well, won a hard ball and flicked it out to him, but he still had a lot to do, and a brilliant score from the sideline.
Short puck out. James Barry gives it long. Coming across to Seamus Callanan. Umpire feels that is a 65. Noel Connors just protesting there to the referee, but the umpire had no doubts. So it's an opportunity here for Tipperary to stretch their lead a little bit. First 65 of the afternoon for Seamus Callanan. Little or no breeze in Semple Stadium. Focuses, and here he comes. It's a good follow through. It was never in any doubt. Straight over the crossbar.
Yeah, beautiful action, Marty, beautiful strike, and with that light sliotar, 65 is only like a 40-yard free to this man.
Puck out from Stephen O'Keefe. James Woodlock heading towards the 45. His peripheral vision allowed him to see that there was another man available. It happens to be Jason Ford. This ball is to the left and wide, and that's Tipperary's first wide of the match. They're coming after 18 minutes. Waterford using the hand pass efficiently, but then giving it away. And look who has it, who seems to be unmarked, as Michael Dignan was pointing out a short time ago. Here's Kevin Moore in his own half of the field, lobbing it in, but again Waterford seem to be disorganised up front. There is no shape, there is no pattern. Darren Gleeson's pass was not a good one. In comes Stephen Bennett. What can Bennett do? He can kick it across the face of the goal. So close. Tipperary survive, but only by centimetres. Shane Fives is involved.
Yeah, Marty, Stephen Bennett unlucky. He lost his hurl on the way in there. Had no choice but to kick it. But, you know, we saw Pádraig Maher. If you watch it here, he's just gone in along here, and he just loses his hurl here. Ends up kicking the ball just across the goal. It's very unlucky. And that came about, we were talking about Pádraig Maher dominating a brutal clearance straight out the middle to Kevin Moran, who's also playing as a kind of a free roll all around the half forward line midfield. Kevin Moran picked it up, and a bad puck out from Darren Gleeson then followed.
Yellow card for John Bubbles O'Dwyer, who seems to pick up yellow cards quite frequently. This was Noel Connors going down on the ball here.
Yeah, he flicked in just as Noel Connors was catching the ball there. You know, even if he'd hit the ball, it was gone out over the sideline, so an unusual one. But Noel Connors up now and ready to go again.
Austin Gleeson, free for Waterford. He hit it powerfully. Hit it between the posts. Really good score.
Yeah, huge expectation on this young player. We haven't seen much of him in the first 20 minutes, but that's a brilliant score, and that'll help settle him into the game.
Centre half back on the minor All-Ireland winning team of 2 years ago. Aussie, as they call him affectionately. Jason Ford, one of Tipperary's emerging under-21 stars. Spraying it across. Lovely hands. John bubbles on the wire, but this time it's gone to the right. Early days for him to get a yellow card as well, Michael.
It is indeed, but I think, Marty, we're seeing both teams trying to impose their style on the game. Waterford's tackling, their work rate is improving. You know, they're getting it hard to get their scores. Tipperary's movement, we saw Rona Marta again with the diagonal ball, and John O'Dwyer switching wings. So look, the game beginning to take on a pattern now in a life of its own, and Tipperary on top at the moment.
Dan Shanahan and the linesman disagreeing about the line ball. It's Kieran Bergen that's going to take this. Cuts it in well. And I have to say that Nigel Burke looks very sharp. It's a good ball as well, down towards Maurice Shanahan. He's looking at the pulse. He's giving it a lash. And he's bang on target. Sort of score that inspires colleagues. They begin to believe when that sort of point arrives on the scoreboard. That's quality.
Absolutely, Marty. I mentioned Tyga Burke impressive. He's hugely impressive. A brilliant catch, and then had the vision to look up and pick out Maurice Shanahan. He still had a lot to do, and a great score from the middle of the field.
Corrick Marr gives it into the centre to Shane McGrath. But Waterford are beginning to find a purple patch. Jake Dillon. Again, Paddy Marr is doing an awful lot of clearing up, but this time under pressure gives it away to Michael Brick Walsh, who is subsequently fouled. An unusual, uncharacteristic error by Paddy Marr. He was under pressure, but it was a giveaway.
Yeah, well, that's two or three things in the last few minutes. You can sense that here, Marty, that Waterford just begin to impose their game on Tipperary. Brendan Maher made a sloppy mistake, or not Brendan Maher, Shane McGrath just before that. Now Corrick Marr getting the yellow card. I think that's maybe for persistent foul, and that could be the third foul against him. And we just see maybe the white from John O'Dwyer, the yellow card, a little bit of, you know, lack of discipline creeping into Tipperary over the last 5 minutes, and Waterford are right back in this game now.
Here's Maurice Shanahan. Should be a relatively easy point for him to take. Dead straight in front of the post. White flag is raised. Seven points to 6. You just saw there Dan Shanahan and the fourth official just having a quiet word. I think they understand each other now. Ball goes back. Gathering it up is Jamie Barron. Good work by Philip Mahoney. Clyde de Burke again. Corrick Marr is playing very, very deep. Now almost behind his fullback man, but here's Maurice Shanahan. Come on, the 65, he has reacted, he knows. It's like a missile, dead on target. And Waterford fans are indeed beginning to believe.
Yeah, and coming from another very poor mistake, Rona Maher this time straight out to Morris. Super score from him, but another bad mistake by Tipperary. They've gifted Waterford now 3 or 4 points. Michael Breen to me looks lost out in the middle of the field. He doesn't know what his role is. Rona Maher under pressure on that right wing, and Waterford dominating here now for the last 10 minutes.
Level for the first time in Simple Stadium. Barry Coughlin giving it back to Clyde de Burke, who's clearing his lines every single time. In comes Stephen Bennett, working hard. So too is Kieran Bergen. Paddy Marr is there, into the middle of the field. Kevin Moran is going up for it. Instead it's Niall O'Mara. Rather Brendan Marr actually, just sent it in for Seamus Callanan. Dangerous ball, and it just skids off the surface and out over the end line and wide.
Yeah, I think, you know, you see Seamus Callanan when he got the ball, there was a little bit of panic. He was expecting the second man to close in. He actually had way more time than he thought he had, and he snapped at that and put it wide, and Waterford putting the pressure on again there.
Maurice Shanahan got a touch to it. When it comes to Jason Ford, delivers it long. Seamus Callanan quite can't control it. Barry Coughlin is tussling on the ground. In comes Patrick Bonnermar. Referee has blown his whistle. This is going to be a throw ball just on the edge of the D. Eddie Barrett giving it back to Kyle de Burke, who has the composure to see that Colin Dunford is available. Referee says play on. Dangerous ball again. This time it's Stephen Bennett who's becoming more prominent. Slipping and sliding, losing his footing. Kieran Bergen comes in. Keeps the pressure off Tipperary by going long. Good hands here from Niall O'Mara. Cutting in, aiming again at Seamus Callanan. Breaking ball. Tied to Burkes there again. That way is blocked. Looking for his goalkeeper. He's twisting and turning. Loses possession. The goalkeeper thought about coming out. Instead, it's Philip Manning that's gone back to clear it. And the ball is wide. Or at least it should be. Plenty of passion, plenty of hard work on display.
Yeah, well, I think it's fascinating, Marty, the way the two systems now, Waterford getting into their rhythm, they're now picking up all the breaking ball that they were losing in the first 10 or 15 minutes, particularly the first 15 minutes, and Tipperary running out of ideas now up front, and Waterford putting them under far more pressure than they were earlier in the game.
Here they go again, Waterford. It's a long time indeed since Tipperary scored. Since the 17th minute or thereabouts. Noel Connors giving it over for his Jake Dillon from the De La Salle club. Same club as his manager, Colin Dunford, under pressure. kicks it over. Getting clean possession. There's a chance here for Michael Breen, and that's over the bar. Well, there is a man in an unusual position. Coming from cornerback, being named a cornerback, starting at wing back. We saw him being left for dead a moment ago, and he's up at full forward now.
Yeah, I think he was out around the middle of the field. To me, Marty, he wasn't sure of what his role was in the team. Now he's moved in there, and he'll be glad to get that point. I think it's the first time he's touched the ball in the first half.
Well, he's levelled the match for the third time. 1 minute of additional time at least to be added on as Colin Dumford gathers, sends it in. One man up for Waterford is Stephen Bennett. There are two Tipperary defenders. One of them is Pádraig Maher. Flicks it out, relieves the pressure. Ball down the middle. Coming forward is Patrick Bonner Maher. Breaking ball picked up by Philip Mahoney. Somehow managed to still get his captain going. Available is Eddie Barrett if he needs him. Last touch was off Shane McGrath. Sideline ball for Waterford. Referee has overruled the linesman.
Yeah, I think he's right as well.
I actually think he's right too, yeah.
Marty, had Seamus Callan, no score from play. Brendan Maher, Jason Ford, Niall O'Mara scored 2, Bonner Maher 1, and John O'Dwyer. Tipperary really struggling for any possession at all up front in the last 20 minutes of the first half.
Going forward is Patrick Bonner Maher. He's fouled. 3 in for Tipperary.
Probably a yellow card I say from here for Austin Gleeson. He pulled wild there with one hand high, and he caught. Actually, Noel Connors is going into. I thought it was Austin Gleeson.
Notebook is out, but yes, now he's called over Austin Gleeson.
Yeah, it was a wild stroke.
It's going to be Austin has just been told the news, as you can see by the body language, and that is a yellow card for the centre half back, which is of concern to his manager.
Just watch here now.
Watch this again.
Very high and definitely a yellow card.
Moment. Waterford are trying to organise their defences. Tipperary going to take this free through Seamus Callanan. As Michael was saying, no score from play yet from Seamus Callanan, 3 from frees.
Yeah, big star of the possession, and Tyga Burke back in front of him along with Barry Coughlin. This is it, right out on the sideline here now, right behind it. Difficult angle, but I back him to score.
That's exactly what he's done. Should give Tipperary a 1-point lead going into the break. And the referee, James Owens from Wexford, has indeed blown the half-time whistle. An interesting and pulsating contest with a lot of passion, a lot of hard work. 3 times level in the first half. 2 yellow cards for Tipperary, 3 yellow cards for Waterford, no goals. But at half-time, this is the scoreline in the Munster Hurling Final. Tipperary 10 points, Waterford 9. Analysis coming your way right after the break.
Hello again. Good start by Tipperary in this Munster final. Waterford, though, dominating the later stages, but it's the Premier County who lead by a single point at half-time. It's Tip 10, Waterford 9. There's confirmation of who scored what. Callanan, Seamus Callanan, top scoring for Tipperary. Maurice Shanahan, top scoring for Waterford. Ger, what's your half-time verdict?
Well, it's a typical Waterford start to the game. You know, against Cork, it took them 22 minutes to get their first point from play. Against Tip in the league, it took them 23 minutes to get their first point from play. And then after that, you know, you think in the first 20 minutes they were going to be overrun because, you know, Tip seemed to have all the answers. They were breaking through their so-called system. Pádraig Maher was cleaning up as the sweeper. But gradually, you know, Kevin Morton gave great inspiration around the middle of the field. He scored 2 great points. And then Tip started to get a bit casual in defence. Gave away about 4 scores from, you know, there were errors rather than great play on Waterford's part. I'd still be a bit worried about Waterford. They look sluggish to me. They don't seem to have the same zip about their play as they had in the 2 games up to now. But they're right back in the game. The Burke's controlling it as their sweeper. You know, I still think Tip have a bit more threat up front, and I just cannot understand how you play a team with 1 forward inside and Pádraig Maher standing in front of him and cleaning out everything.
But
you know, is that going to, I know that's their system, but is it going to work?
Watford doing the same thing. They've tied the Burke back there. Like, that's the way they play.
But they have 2 up, Cyril.
They have, but they're trying to counteract it. But like most of the Waterford, it's right, the good scores have come from overturns. 4 of them, they were out of the game, and the next thing, the mistakes by Tip that had the ball. Up to that, they were going lovely. It's anyone's game at this stage.
That Waterford live on scraps. That's the way they play it. They don't mind driving wides. They don't seem to mind. Like Darragh Fives is a cornerback, has a shot from 80 yards over the bar. Yeah. And I said, they live on the scraps. Yeah. And that's what they did. That's what they've done the first half. And I know Gerard's point saying, you know, they don't look it, but it's the same way. That's the way they kind of break it down.
I'm just saying it's typical, sir. It's typical the way they play, especially their first half. Yeah. Now, in games up to now, once they got control, then they were able to drive on. So that is going to be the real interesting thing after half-time, to see now that they are in the game, that they are, you know, right back on parity with Tipperary. Will they now drive on like they have done in the 2 games beforehand?
But Darragh, the big thing now is this. Numbers are gone. The goalie is number 1, but after that, before 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 backline in their time playing, that's gone. The numbers are gone. They're all over the pitch, so it's nearly gone now. You pick your goal, you pick the 14 best hurlers, whoever they are, backs, and put them out and work without them, because like you have Breen playing cornerback and out midfield, you have you know what you call Fives going up scoring, but he scored from outside midfield. The numbers, forget about the numbers on the back, because they're just tracking.
Let's follow that trend of the game as Ger set it out for us there, Henry, and we'll start with the way Tipperary started. They did begin the match in a very positive frame, 6-2 after 13 minutes.
Yeah, no, they started very well, and Tadhg de Búrca, who hit a lot of ball, was here now, but Tip were using the ball a little bit better at the beginning of the match. And here it is, the diagonal ball, we showed it before the game, and Niall O'Mara, who was marking Tadhg de Búrca at the time, broke onto this ball and put it over the bar. Very good score. And he started the game very well. Here's Tadhg de Búrca again, hitting the ball out of the defence, but Pádraig Maher sweeping it, coming in, grabbing a great ball, throwing it off, and they were using the ball a bit more intelligently at this stage. Now, they were being a little sloppy the one hand, but here it comes through again, and a ball into Bonner Maher. Great touch, great wrist, and very sharp, and they look sharp at this stage over the bar. And that's the way they started, and the crowd were behind them. But then, as Gerard said, we got on to the sloppy pace started to creep in for Tipperary, and it kind of sucks the life out of the players, but as well as out of the supporters. They kind of go, oh no, that's a mistake by us, and that's what's after happening, letting Waterford back into the game.
And here's Waterford in control, Cyril.
Yeah, after 13 minutes, like it was about 6 points to 2 for Tip. Now here again, look, at Pádraig Maher it's a long ball down. No, okay. Big tussle under the ball, but again, there's plenty of sticks going around now. They're very good hurlers and very natural on the ball. Here to come, 2 or 3 run to get a little flick pass, another little one here, beautiful score here. Like this is as good as you're going to see anywhere. Like bang over the bar. Now look, they're on a roll this time, and the next few scores after this, then you had Tip kind of making kind of silly mistakes. Really. Again, now here's the Bucker, comes up, has a little look up the pitch, and a lovely little flick pass up along here, catch. Morris shot, I was going to say big day. Morris turns around, he's on a roll this time, bang over the bar. Like, you know, at this stage, Waterford are in the groove, and as Henry said, when they get in that kind of groove, now look at this. Little flick, this is sloppy play here now. Goes around, intercepted here again. Bang, back over the bar again. At this stage, like, Waterford could do no wrong. It was kind of coming from mistakes by Tip rather than this. And again, another one here. Like, again, misses this ball down here. Plenty of support play again. Now, this is their bet. Now, this is more. This guy is leading by example. He's all over the pitch. He plays everywhere, up and down the pitch, back onto his favourite left-hand side. That's his second score in the first half. He's igniting the whole... He's rising the goal, or the Waterford crowd to, you know, to get up.
Yeah, they put Michael Breen on Kevin Moore at the start, which would be a bit of a surprise. He was picked a cornerback, and he played fullback for their minors and for their under-21s. Yeah. It's not working out. They've moved into the full forward line. It'll be interesting to see who they put on him now.
Thanks, man. The second half of the 2015 Munster final is coming up very shortly. Tip, as you know, leading Waterford by a single point. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Semple Stadium here in Thurles. One dramatic change at the start of the second half. Lar Corbett has entered the arena, and we'll see where the change is in a moment.
I think it's Michael Breen.
I think it's Michael Breen too, just having a quick look. Second half is underway. We'll confirm that substitution in just a moment. but it is indeed just confirmed now. It is Lark Corbett for Michael Breen as the ball drops in and goes out over the end line and wide. A crowd of 43,084 here at Semple Stadium. There is a wonderful buzz and excitement as we look forward to the second half. Of course, in Waterford, they won't forget the 2011 Munster final, and Lark Corbett scored 4-4. And perhaps that's what Tipperary are hoping for. Nice pick-up indeed by Patrick Bonner Marr. Ball inside. Patrick Marr chasing after it again. It's Austin Gleeson. He steps away from it. He's unmarked. He can almost score from here. I've seen him do it in the past, and this is dropping just to the left and wide.
Yeah, I think that's something, you know, that he's an awful long way out. Really should have tried to pick somebody out inside in the forward. And quick puck out again here now to Ronan Maher.
Lark Corbett waiting for the break. Could still come his way. Good work here indeed by Philip Mahoney. Gets the call from Austin Gleeson, who's available in the middle. Good work indeed by Stephen Bennett. Better work by James Barry. Gives a little shoulder. Uses Cathal Barrett. Philip Mahoney again. Going forward is Eddie Barrett. Barrett gets the call. He was going to give it first, Philip Mahoney, but intercepting was Maurice Shanahan. This is Michael Walsh. And that is going to be a sideline ball.
Yeah, now, Marty, this is an interesting one. In my book, James Owens put up his hand there to give the advantage. There was a foul on Maurice Shanahan initially. Then not on Maurice Shanahan, he let it develop. And after the 5 seconds was up, he ended up not giving the free. And this, in my book, in my opinion, the referee should give a free 50 yards out when the foul is made. Don't bother playing the advantage. Let them puck the free over the bar.
Colin Dumford coming across to take this. Stephen Bennett is around the edge of the square. First touch was a disappointment for the centre half forward from Ballysaggart. And here come Tipperary and Lark Corbett. Good work, good anticipation by the right corner back, Shane Fives. Lays it off as Colin Dumford. Capable of scoring from here, but again it's to the left and wide. And our tally of wides for Waterford now increases to 7. Puck out goes all the way. Again, it's Noel Connors. Steady as a rock at left corner back. Jamie Barron from 4 Mile Water. Ball given away. James Barry sweeps it over for his Jason Ford. On the turn. He really is a special talent, Jason Ford. It might be his first point in this Munster final, but he's a name that's going to dominate on Tipperary hurling teams for some time in the future.
Yeah, great score, Marty, but you know, an awful lot of scores on both sides coming from mistakes from the opposition. That was a poor clearance again. They're straight out to James Barry. He picked out Jason Ford, but you know, it's gone a bit sloppy. To me, whichever team can just impose themselves for 10 or 15 minutes could take control of this game. It's as if Tipperary are waiting for things to happen, and you know, Waterford have taken the foot off the pedal a bit. The last 15 minutes of the first half they were well on top, but Tipperary now been allowed to dictate again.
Ronan Marr. It's a good sideline cut. Jamie Barron did very well. Lays it off. First Tadhg de Burka. Gives another long ball up for Stephen Bennett. Controls it. Being chased by Cathal Barrett. Bennett needs a little bit of help. Lays it back for Michael Walsh. Trying to get through several Tipperary defenders. Eddie Barrett is up there helping out his full forward. Still Eddie Barrett undecided exactly what to do, and then the ball is given away. Tipperary go the long ball route up to Seamus Callanan. Out comes the goalkeeper. About to be tackled, challenged. Stephen O'Keefe out over the sideline. Good work by Seamus Callanan. And the ball should have been delivered fast down the field rather than conceding it.
Yeah, great. We'd have to admire Seamus Callan here. Great work rate. But as you say, Stephen O'Keefe had plenty of chances to hit that ball. And over in the far wing before that, you know, very, very slow build-up, no support play. And that's the problem with playing this sweeper. You have to move the ball, carry it out of defence and take your scores from distance. You can't be hitting it long as well and hoping for one man to do it inside.
John O'Dwyer hitting it in. Again, great marking, great fielding, I should say, by Tadhg de Burka. Comes back to John O'Dwyer and it's across the face of the goal. Stephen O'Keefe decides to keep it in play. Goes on another one of these solo runs. This time decides to go long, down towards his captain, Kevin Moran. Interesting to see that Brendan Maher has gone from centre half forward to left half back, which was an area that we mentioned was where we were more familiar with Barcelona.
Yeah, well, I think it was Kevin Moran was causing so much hassle and problems for Tipperary in the first half. To put Brendan Maher, a very experienced player, as we mentioned, he can play anywhere. Quick puck out to Lara again here now, and he loses possession.
Here comes Dara. Shane Fives. Shane. Dara is the brother. Shane is the number 2. And Shane Fives, incredibly, gets his second point of the match. Wonderful corner back play.
He's a fantastic hurler. He's loose at the moment there. Tadhg de Burka was back picking up his man, and he had the freedom to go up the field and score his second point. 2 great scores now by Shane.
Oh, magnificent catch. Brilliant play by Austin Gleeson. Cathal Barrett under a little bit of pressure. Ball is still available. Hefty shoulder on the corner back. Sweet ball in by Jake Dillon. Taken up here by Maurice Shanahan. It's a waste of possession. Really should have played a little bit more.
That's a 65.
65, actually.
Well, it was blocked there by James Barry, so but the referee has copped it straight away. There's no doubt about it.
The umpire, as you can see, has his arm up. And the referee, James Owens. Let's just watch this again. Slight touch, 65. Waterford lining up some substitutes down here in front of us. This is Shane Bennett, brother of centre-half forward Stephen Bennett. And also it looks like Tom Devine is going to be introduced.
Yeah, 2 big strong men and athletes ready to come into the fray. This is the way Waterford played. They have a very strong bench. And to be hoping these can make a big impact.
Here's Maurice Shanahan. Never in any doubt. All you have to do is look at Maurice Shanahan's body language after he's hit a ball. And he always gives that little positive little fist to himself. He knows it's bang on target. Stephen Bennett is gone off. So a change for the brothers and also Tom Devine. Here comes Shane Fives again. This lad is really playing well. Defensively and indeed going into the attack as well. Jamie Barrett being chased by Bonner Marr. Ball inside. Gathering it with Tom Devine. Effort is half blocked. Corrig Marr is there. Letting it fly is Ronan Marr. Great catch. Fabulous catch. But the pass is a poor one on this occasion from Shane Fives. Austin Gleeson did a bit of cleaning up for him, and between the two of them they managed to clear the danger. Slipper just got a little bit stuck up awkwardly for Jake Dillon. Instead Kieran Bergen sends it down. Austin Gleeson sends it back. Chasing after this is Tom Devine, being pursued by Cathal Barrett. It's going to be a sideline ball.
Marty, to compound matters, they've switched jerseys. They've changed back. Ronan Maher is now wearing 7, Kieran Bergen is wearing 5. Obviously, it was brought to their attention at half-time that they've been wearing the wrong jerseys. So we're not going mad up here or anything like that. They've switched again. This is supposed to be an easy job.
Second half possession there, you just got some information. 68% for Waterford, which is a fair reflection indeed of what we're seeing right here. Here comes Jake Dillon, sending it across the face of the goal and wide. In terms of wides, by the way, Waterford have now got 9.
Yeah, Martin, they have loads of possession, but they're not imposing themselves. Tipper just resorted to route one, hurling. Great ball here down the wing, though, to Niall O'Mara. They're going with his high ball, and it's not working for them.
Niall O'Mara floating this one in. Oh, what a fantastic score. Niall O'Mara with his third point of the match, his first in the second half. 2 glorious points in the opening 35 minutes, but this is going to be hard to be beaten.
That's a fantastic score, but that's the first one in a long time. A quick puck out to James Barry, and he played that ball. We saw that in the first half as well, the very same thing happening. But Tipperary before that resorting to a high ball on top of the sweeper, and it's not working for them at all.
Here comes Law, laying it back. Kieran Bergen sending this to the right and wide. Just 1 point between the teams. Here the Waterford fans trying to get behind their team. Who got the last touch, the linesman or the referee? Doesn't really know.
Yeah, I think it might be a free. Definitely Cathal Barrett, who's, if you watch here, he's out in front and he's nudged into the back. That should be a free. He's actually been very impressive, Cathal Barrett. He missed the last day.
Yeah.
Very, very solid. You know, you have Michael Cahill there, Conor O'Brien, Paddy Stapleton not listed today, all fighting for the 2 cornerbacks positions, but they just seem to be running out of ideas from midfield up. They're haven't created many chances since half-time, but Waterford haven't made them pay either, so they're still in the game. It's just a point in it now with 10 minutes into the second half.
34-year-old Darren Gleeson dropping this in around the house. Ball is loose and available, but Waterford have it. Good work by Jamie Barron. Stephen O'Keefe's pass is a poor one, picked up by Jason Ford and sent straight back with a lot of profit. Good score, but a mistake by Waterford keeper Stephen O'Keefe here.
But once again, Martin, we've talked about this a few minutes ago, the amount of scores that has come from both sides. Again, that should have been cleared 90 yards out the field, and you know, terrible soft, good score by Ford, but very, very soft one to give away in a tight game.
Here's Colin Dunford being chased by Kieran Bergen. Dunford across the face of the goal and wide. Into double figures. That's Waterford's 10th moment of the match.
Yeah, and we see Lara Corbett, he was back in that chase and pack as well. He's back just coming outside the 21 now. He's obviously in a completely free role in the second half. He's got on a couple of balls and not much has come off him yet.
Niall O'Mara battling with Noel Connors. Michael Walsh down towards Niall O'Mara. He's got inside the cover. There's a chance here for Dunford, and that is deflected out for a 65. Colin Dunford here getting the better of Paddy Marr, and he hit a shot
straight at him, really. That was, I think that's what made it. If he hit it over to the far side, you saw all the room there on the right hand side of Darren Gleeson. A good save by Darren Gleeson, but Colin Dunford would be disappointed at having skinned Pádraig Maher, and that's one of the things. Paddy got a yellow card in the first half, I think, didn't he? And you know, he had to let him inside him. I'd say he might have held him up, but he couldn't risk the second yellow, and Dunford took advantage of that.
Chance here for Maurice Shanahan as Derek McGrath gives instructions from the sideline. Brian Gavin is come awfully as the linesman in this Munster final. Maurice Shanahan following through. His free taking today has been consistent and top quality.
It has indeed, Marty. 3 frees, 2 65s and 2 from play. Great contribution from Morris so far.
Here comes Seamus Callanan. Ball is wide.
Yeah, frustrating afternoon. He's not getting very much ball, and when he does, he has Barry Coughlin and Tyke de Burke usually on his shoulder. I think that's the first shot from play that he's had a goal.
Quick puck out from Stephen O'Keefe. Down for as Austin Gleeson. He's opposite number 6. Sweeping up. Pass is not a great one for James Woodlock. And that's going to be a sideline ball for Tipperary.
Yeah, just a bit sloppy again. You know, you mentioned there, Martin, the hand pass going to ground. A lot of that going on. Tip just seem to be going through the motions as if they think they're going to just do enough to win this. But I'd say Eamon O'Shea would like to see them applying themselves a little bit more.
Tipperary captain Brendan Maher. And again, Clyde de Burke's anticipation and reading of the game is superb. Out far as Jake Dillon. Going long. Down towards Maurice Shanahan. Making an angle for himself. Good block down by Corrig Mark. Available in the middle is the Tipperary captain. Seamus Callan's first touch, allowing Barry Coughlin to go back to gather it. Clyde de Burke gives it down to Kevin Moran. Nice ball inside from Colin Dumford, even if it was maybe accidental. Jamie Barron throws it up in front of him. Still Barron, little jink inside. And that is a beautiful piece of skill, which actually deserved more. It deserved a score.
It would have been some score, brilliant work, but I think he had a chance before that, John. He might have overplayed it. He had an easier chance maybe to stick it over the bar off his left side, but he took an extra touch and unfortunately for him, poked it wide at the end of it.
Short puck out strategy continues. Clyde de Burke not able to prevent the sliotar from going out over the sideline. He's been playing so well. He's just a little bit unlucky on this particular ball. Sideline ball for Tipperary. Going to be taken by Jason Ford. He's already scored twice in this Munster final. Scored 1-3 against Limerick. Cutting this one in. Cutting it wide. 8 wides for Tipperary, 11 wides for Waterford.
Yeah, I see John O'Dwyer now being moved out to around the middle of the field, wing forward. They'll be hoping to get him onto a couple of balls because Tip have run out of ideas up front. Clyde de Burke has sucked the life out of him, and he's playing a fantastic game as sweeper.
Sliotar falls kindly to Colin Dumford. Tries from way out the field, but it's a little bit weak. Easy for the Tipperary goalkeeper from Portroe, Darren Gleeson, to drop it back up. Clyde de Burke with Seamus Callan. Callan, first time getting away, but not for very long, as Clyde de Burke is there, so too is Noel Connors. Seemed to hit off the Tipperary man, and that's going to be a Waterford sideline cut. He's a great bit of stuff, Noel Connors. He plays consistently well at
absolutely, he's very disciplined. He doesn't foul. You saw him in again there, like a flash, a little flick. Seamus Callan just threw up the ball to play it. He flicked it away from him. He's tigerish, and you know, I'm just surprised that Tipperary aren't trying to create a little bit more from out the field. Maybe carry the ball, create a bit of space, and throw a few hand passes around. This long ball into an extra defender is not working at all for them.
Brilliant sideline cut from Austin Gleeson. He comes to Tipperary. John O'Dwyer gets away from a tight marking Waterford defence and gets his 3rd point of the game.
Yeah, well, I thought we'd see him lining out around the half-forward line today to give him a little bit more space. He's just moved out there in the last couple of minutes. Lovely first touch, brought it down and over the bar.
He seems very confined, Michael, when he plays corner.
Well, certainly with a sweeper in front of him. He's okay when he has the normal space, but he needs to get out the field because he's a brilliant finisher.
Shane Fives goes for the long ball. Corrig Marr, you will notice, is behind his full back line. More importantly, right now, Waterford have possession here. Indeed is Tipperary number 6 coming away with it. John O'Dwyer is getting an amount of space. Goes for the long ball down towards Niall O'Mara. Austin Gleeson has gone back to sweep up. Hits it onto his right. And he is able to hit it on both sides, but this time goes to the right. John O'Dwyer is battling here with Michael Brick Walsh. Tipperary have it once more. Sent back this time by Ronan Marr. Underneath it is Lar Corbett. In comes Philip Mahoney. Jamie Barron is there too. Patrick Bonner-Marr was doing his best, but it's Waterford that have possession with Jamie Barron. Referee blows his whistle for the foul on Lar Corbett. And that's going to be a chance for Tipperary to stretch their lead.
Yeah, Martin, that could be a crucial passage to play. Great block down. You see Shane McGrath throwing in his head there, and Lar following up was fouled. Some great hooking and blocking on both sides. And some of the hitting there, fair hitting. You saw Noel Connors again out in front earlier there, and Bonner Maher. And eventually, I think this could be a crucial score now to put Tipperary 3 points up in a very close game.
Yellow card for Waterford midfielder Jamie Barron for that trip on Lar Corbett. 15 minutes to go in this Munster final. Seamus Callanan once again taking the responsibility of taking the free.
Absolutely, and just see Lar Corbett, he's moved right in now around the edge of the square in the last couple of minutes, and he is the one player that's very strong in the air, that maybe will catch a ball there and score a goal, and John Bubbles out the field. I think that's a better balance to the Tipperary forward line with that.
Seamus Callanan puts it between the posts for his 5th point of the match, and Tipperary lead by 3.
Yeah, and they've released him out around centre forward as well now and moved Bonner Maher inside. So again, I think that he will crave that extra bit of space. He's been very closely marked all day, and Bonner and Lar Corbett now, 2 of them very strong in the air, and both of them inside on the edge of the square now.
We should have an exhilarating 14 minutes. Certainly would hope that the tempo will raise a bit, because it's been dull at times, but absorbing and interesting in terms of the tactical game. Now, what can Waterford do? Unbeaten in 2015. Munster final, down by 3 points. 14 minutes to go. Maurice Shanahan floating this in. Will it curl? It is a thing of beauty. 7 point of the match for Maurice Shanahan. But this one from play is an absolute peach.
And it was, because Ronan Maher was forcing him out onto his right-hand side, his weaker side. He deliberately did that, and Morris still was able to swing it over the bar. He's maybe single-handedly keeping Waterford in this game at the moment.
Ronan Maher with the diagonal ball over for his Lar Corbett. Lar looked at the post, but will it reach it? No, not this time.
He's pretty sharp down, Marty. He's been out of hurling for a long time. He's won 4 or 5 balls. He's won a free there earlier on. Good catch there again. I'd say he'd love to get on the scoreboard here in Thurles, in his hometown.
Possession now so vital, particularly for Waterford, trailing by 2. Sent down in towards the corners. Chasing after this is Shane Bennett, and that is wide.
Yeah, Waterford going to be disappointed. They've had 3 or 4 softish wides in the second half. They were all scoring chances, and 2 points in it, really they should be closer than that.
Chance here. Oh, what about this? What about this? John O'Dwyer, straight from the puck out. Well worth watching.
Well, that's the difference, Marty. That's one look in half a yard of space and straight over the bar. That's his 3rd point for play. He's 2nd since moving out there to right half forward. That switch is certainly working for Tipperary.
Sheer utter class. Here comes Kevin Moore, running at the Tipperary defence for the first time in the second half. Needs to pull this across the face of the goal. James Barry is there. And James Woodlock is also available for the short pass, and then deliver it long. Very long. Barry Coughlin laying it off quickly for his Jamie Barron. Sending it low as Waterford continue to push forward. This is Colin Dumford playing really well. Still Dumford being chased by Seamus Callanan. Loses possession. Paddy Maher comes across to take it. Available if he needs him, and he does, is Kieran Bergen. Bergen lays it into the centre for his Ronan Maher. Sweeps it up towards Niall O'Mara. Ty de Burka has to come across to try and prevent any further danger. Did very well, slipping in the mud there just off the sideline. Still Ty de Burka. Great intensity, great determination by the wing back. Great block down, superb block down by Brendan Maher from Borriselli.
Yeah, that's a great passage of play, Marty. We saw Seamus Callan covering 80-90 yards. Kevin Moore made a great catch from the puck out. Great block down by Brendan Maher at the end, but end-to-end stuff there and some great defensive play on both sides.
They know only too well that the clock is ticking towards that 70th minute. 11 minutes left. Austin Gleeson sending it in. Gathered here by Ronan Marr.
He's had a much better second half. Marty's on an off-right ball into Lara again here now.
Here comes Lara. Grabbed the slither, turned. Oh my word. Lara's back. The Thurles Sarsfields man is a vital factor in this second half performance by Tipperary. He just literally turned, didn't even look, and sent it between the posts.
Yeah, and again on his left side, and on his weaker side, he caught out the defender by swinging onto that side. Great catch here by Shane McGrath.
Shane McGrath laying it off. Far as Cathal Barrett. Pass is not a great one. Colin Dumford again, working so hard. Referee James Owens from Wexford gives the corner forward from Collegian a free here outside the Tipperary 45-metre line.
Yeah. Just watch Ronan Marr's arm comes in around. A lot of talk about this. Spare hand, he was just holding him up. I think the feet went out from under him as well. And you can see by the referee, it looked like he pulled him down, but he really just blocked him with the arm. And a free in for Waterford.
Waterford now chasing this match. Pendulum of power has slowly moved towards Tipperary. There is obviously dissent, and maybe perhaps Tipperary hadn't gone back.
He wouldn't go back.
Distance.
He hadn't gone back and he wouldn't go back, so make it a little bit easier for Morris. But Marty, you mentioned before the game, neither of these managers has won a Munster title. The majority of the Waterford players wouldn't have, some of the Tip players wouldn't have, so this is really a pressurised situation. A Munster Championship medal still means an awful lot to every player in Munster.
Maurice Shanahan, it's that between the posts. As Waterford make further changes, coming on will be number 25, Patrick Curran from Dungarvan. And he's going to replace Colin Dumford, who actually played well.
He did, he was on a lot of ball, maybe he wasn't scoring, but this Patrick Curran, brilliant underage player. Certainly one of Waterford's brightest stars for the future, and it'll be interesting to see if he can make an impact.
Went off the stick of Jake Dillon, so it's going to be a sideline ball for Tipperary. Brendan Maher going to take this. Cutting it in. Cutting it in beautifully, in fact. Knocked away for Seamus Callanan. O'Keefe stood his ground and blocked it out for a 65.
Yeah, great piece of skill here by Seamus Callanan. Look at this for pick-up over the hurl of Ty de Burka. Didn't get his best shot on it, but well blocked out there. Was it Shane Fives maybe a cornerback? No, he missed it. The goalie saved it. Stephen O'Keefe. If you look at it here, Shane Fives comes across and actually misses the ball in front of him. So that would have put a little bit more. He did really well considering that. Good save.
Out for a 65. So Seamus Callanan again will take the free, take the 65. There's confirmation of Patrick Curran's presence on the field. He came on for Colin Dumford. Face of concentration. The swing and the follow through seems to be good enough. And he puts that 65 between the posts again. Tipperary now lead by 4 with 7 minutes to go. It's being put up to the Allianz Hurling League champions of 2015. Jamie Barrett. Ball straight down the middle. Cathal Barrett did very well. He also picked up an injury in the process. And the referee, James Owens, is coming across to have a word with the defending player. Shane Bennett is going to be booked for this. It's a question of the colour of the card.
Yeah, Cathal Barrett with a great, he read it so well and you could see him nipping in. He's had an outstanding game at cornerback for Tipperary. Great catch and he's got a blow to the side of the head. It's a yellow card.
A yellow card for Shane Bennett. This is what happened. Cathal Barrett gathered it here.
Yeah. he was trying to play. There was no intent, to strike on the head or anything like that, and he was careless more than anything else. An accidental clash, and Cathal Barrett up again. He's been in the war as a very committed player. He's back on his feet.
Darren Gleeson going to take this free. Floating it in towards that 20-metre line. Patrick Bonner-Maher got a touch. Slipper won't come up for anybody. Here comes Austin Gleeson, stepping away from the challenge. Did well despite the pressure. Bennett arrives, knocks it down for Patrick Kerr. What can he do? He can raise a white flag here. Straight between the posts again. Good score by the substitute, Patrick Kerr.
Yeah, good movement by Kern there. He picked up the breaking ball, shortened up the grip and over the bar now. Interesting now, Waterford 3 points down, 4 minutes to go. They're still leaving an extra man at the back. Will they try to push forward and win this game, or do they think they're going to get a goal the way the system is?
Puck out come as far as Tyg de Burka. A crowd of 43,084 enthralled by this Munster hurling final. There's a chance here to reduce Tipperary's lead, but the ball is not, which is Waterford's 13th wide. Three points between the teams. Just about 4 minutes left, or thereabouts. Waterford introduced Dara Fives, and gone off is Jake Dillon.
Yeah, I think Shane O'Rourke.
And here they come again, Waterford, not giving up.
Shane Burke has come on here for tip as well. I think there might have been foul there. That's him with the red helmet.
Good work here by Jamie Barron. Needs the help and assistance of his captain, Kevin Moran, who's taken a lot of steps, as seen by the referee. Free to Tipperary.
And John O'Dwyer looks to have gone back to take this. It's a long, long way out. He had one maybe a bit more closer to the middle of the field than last year. All-Ireland, it went an inch wide.
Here comes the shot. Here comes the point. John O'Dwyer. It took Hawkeye to decide it last year in the All-Ireland drawn match. This time, no doubt.
And if there was no Hawkeye, it probably would have been given. Here's Bonner-Maher now. Short puck out didn't work out.
And the short puck out didn't work, and that's over the bar by Patrick Bonner-Maher. And suddenly what was 3 points now seems a far more difficult challenge for the league champions. 5 points between the teams. Ball down towards Corrick Marr. Laying it off first, James Woodlock. Battling hard is Philip Manny and Patrick Bonner-Maher. No doubt about it. But the challenge on Patrick Bonner-Maher was not a legal one. No, that is definitely a free head.
Well, I'd say a yellow card as well, but Bonner-Maher, he's never finished. He's unbelievable, he's relentless in his work rate. He scored 2 points, and Marty, both teams have lined up very similar today with the sweeper. But Tipperary, as we felt, might have more options. 2 points by Bonner, 2 by Jason Ford, 3 from John O'Dwyer from play, and 3 from Niall O'Mara. Shems, Callan and Brendan Maher haven't scored from play, with Brendan Maher being withdrawn. But those 4 wingmen, and maybe Tipperary just slightly greater use of possession, has been the difference. Waterford getting it very, very hard to get scores outside of Maurice Shanahan up front.
Seamus Callanan going to take this free. That would certainly secure victory. It looks secure as it is for Tipperary. But this one is gone wide. It remains 5 points. We're heading towards the 70th minute. There's going to be at least 2 to 3 minutes additional added on. There's a yellow card given out as well to fullback Barry Coughlin for that challenge. Ball comes out the middle. Picked up by Seamus Callanan. Laying it back. Pulled on by Brendan Maher. Little jink again from Jamie Barron. Send it over to the wing. Going forward is the centre half back Austin Gleeson. Going for the shot. And that is gone over the bar. We're into injury time. 2 minutes has now just been announced here at Semple Stadium. And it's 4 points between the teams. Can Derek McGrath and his team rescue the situation? Unequivocally, they need a goal to have any chance. Here comes the long puck out again. Shane Fives lays it up. Paris' brother Darren. Kevin Moore and Brendan Maher coming here. So too is Shane Bennett. Brendan Maher giving it into the middle. Paris, James Woodlock, who lets fly, lets it rip, but that ball is again just to the left of the target. 11 wides for Tipperary. 4 points between the teams. Just about a minute of injury time now left. Dara Fives goes low, very low, and again James Woodlock is there. No foul, no free, none committed. Comes out first, John O'Dwyer. Goes long, trying to sort out and find Lark Corbett. Barry Coughlin with him. Good work here by Shane Burke. And that is a brilliant point. Shane Burke shows that he has a lot to offer this Tipperary squad to guarantee surely Tipperary's 41st Munster title. There are a few fans down at the Glennon end now on the pitch, but they're being told to get off the field quickly. There is still about 20 seconds left. There isn't even that, as Tipperary are the Munster champions 2015. Shane Burke's point was the last score of the game to guarantee, not that there was ever any doubt, that the Premier County would be celebrating tonight. Eamon O'Shea, for the first time in his managerial career, has won a Munster title. Tipperary's 41st. The first was won in 1895, the 41st in 2015. And the Tipperary fans rejoice. Brendan Maher, the captain, delighted, commiserating with his opponents and congratulating his teammates.
Yeah, Marty, and you know, I think maybe a bit of complacency, I said it during the week, might have crept into Tipperary over the last few years. They won a minor or a senior All-Ireland in 2010, they won a couple of under-21 All-Irelands, and I think the supporters thought it was going to happen every day for them. And in 3 years under Eamon O'Shea, they hadn't managed to win a Munster championship, so it meant an awful lot to him and to the players, and I think the players wanted to do it for him. I think he's a man who has huge respect of all these players. But look at a fantastic win, very tactical battle, but Tipperary, you know, the slightly sharper and better team on the day.
So the Munster Hurling Cup is going to stay in Thurles, is going to stay here in Tipperary, or is going to Tipperary, because today, of course, they are victorious. 4 times level, but at the end of 72 minutes, this is the full-time score. Tipperary, 21 points. Waterford, 16. And certainly on this was a workmanlike performance. They really had to graft very hard,
well,
Tipperary.
Marty, I think some days you just want to win. Tipperary have done it with style in the past. They knew how Waterford would set up, so they just went with their own sweeper with Pádraig Maher, and they started very well, and then they just got a bit complacent. I think there was a lot of scores from mistakes on both teams. It was a sloppy enough game to call it. It wasn't a classic by any manner of means. I thought it would be maybe, you know, Waterford never really imposed a running game. They never got the man off the shoulder. They never got those sort of free-flowing scores. And Maurice Shanahan, to be fair to him, you know, kept them in the game. But Tipperary had more options. And you know, there was a couple of spurts in the game where they turned on the style for 10 minutes at a time, particularly the last 10 minutes again. They did it early on, and we saw the class then. You know, Lars scored a great point off his left, Bubbles got a couple, Bonner Maher was relentless there in his work rate, and you know, and to me, Cathal Barrett, a cornerback, too, absolutely outstanding. If a cornerback can have a massive bearing on a game, he certainly had that. But Waterford, a young team, and you know, I said it, I thought it would take them a year or two longer with this team to come through, and they really went defensive today. I think that, you know, I'd say Derek McGrath was mindful. It's not too long ago since we saw Tipperary scoring 7 goals against them in a Munster final. That wasn't going to happen today, and this team haven't lost anything in defeat.
Well, the crowds here at Semple Stadium converging onto the pitch. Disappointment for Noel Connors. It is their first defeat of the season. And let's go down to the sideline because I believe Joanne is joined by John O'Dwyer.
I certainly am, John. Congratulations. How important and big a win is that for this team?
Well, when we're in a Munster final, it's going to be big for any team. Do you know, we haven't performed well in Munster the last 2 years, but that's down to Limerick being a good team. So Limerick aren't a bad team. We are coming here today knowing what Waterford are going to put up. Like, Waterford are a serious team that have a big say in the championship yet. We came in here into our home ground, Thurles, where we belong. There was no way we were going to lose that match today. Not a hope. No matter who you put us against, we would not have lost that match today. Not here, and not with this bunch of players.
Well, you said you knew what to expect from Waterford, and yet you found it quite tight in there in the full forward line, didn't you, today?
Yeah, we did, but Waterford set up in the way that they want to set up, and we set up in the way we want to set up. Do you know, that works for Waterford and fair play to them. But look, we weren't trying to get to, you know, suss out any systems. We were only going out there to hurl, and if we were able to open them up, so be it. We went out. We didn't manage to get any goals today, but we got enough points to win the game. That's all that matters to us.
Yeah, well, I hear you have a cup to go collect, so I better let you go, John. Well done.
Nation time here in Tipperary. They will absolutely love the fact that they're back as Munster kingpins. There's the Tipperary captain from Borrisoleigh, Brendan Maher, Robert Frost, the chairman of the Munster Council, and O'Callaghan's Millsman. And he's going to be saying a couple of words and also presenting the Munster Hurling Trophy to the Tipperary captain. Just a note on Waterford before we dwell and concentrate on Tipperary. This is their very first defeat of the season. Michael, they're a very young team. I presume they will regroup rather easily considering they have that confidence.
Yeah, I think so. You know, they'll take a certain amount out today. They'll be disappointed that they lost, but you know, they're into an All-Ireland quarter-final. Just in the year, to come out of 1B was going to be a big ask this year. Then to go on and win the league, they're in an All-Ireland quarter-final. They're not out of the championship yet. So I think Jerry McGrath will be saying, look lads, we still have a lot of hurling to play this summer. If we can win a quarter-final, we see the speech going on here down below us. But I think, you know, we'll see a lot of this Waterford team over the years to come. There's no doubt about that. But I think Tipperary's need was great.
And most importantly, the people of Tipperary. First of all, I want to say a word of thanks to James Owens and his officials today, and a great job. Also the sponsors.
Hurling championships to date, it hasn't really took off, and today's game never took off, as Michael made reference to. And Tip just, to be honest, Tip had a bit of hurling skill. Bubbles put 2 frees over the bar from impossible angles. If you put them over last year, one of them over last year, I wouldn't have another All-Ireland man in my pocket. But like he got 3 other points from play, and Maurice Shannon was the only one who could do that for Waterford, while Tipperary had John O'Dwyer, Niall O'Mara, Patrick Bonner-Maher, and obviously Lara's point came on, gave the crowd a big lift. And you talk about energy, and Tip just, they were the better team and they got more scores.
Mike, at half-time, Dara, big decision. Michael Breen, young fellow, was on the first half. It wasn't like he was playing that bad, but he was out of position. So they decided to bring on Lara, but what did they do? Lara into the forwards, brought back Brendan Maher, and he picked up Kevin Moran. That to me was the win of the match, because Moran was having a fantastic game in the first half. They knew who to mark. Now Brendan Maher is a good hurler, but he's not really, he's more at home in the half back.